Could you survive 24 hours as a Spartan? Not the movie, the real one. This is a narrow strip of rock between a mountain and the sea. They called it Thermopylae, the hot gates. In a few hours, almost everyone standing here will be dead, and you will choose to stay. They hand you a round bronze shield. A Spartan mother had a saying about that shield: come back with it or on it. But your 24 hours did not start at this pass. They started 13 years ago, the day Sparta took you from your mother. You were 7 years old. Every other Greek boy grew up in a home. You grew up in the agoge, a state machine built to manufacture soldiers. They kept you hungry on purpose. To eat, you had to steal, and if you were caught, you were beaten, not for stealing, but for being caught. You slept on reeds you tore from the river with your bare hands. You were flogged in front of crowds to see who would make a sound first. This is the part the legend leaves out. A Spartan is not born. A Spartan is made. And what they made you for was not glory. Sparta sat on top of a vast, enslaved population called Helots. The Helots outnumbered the Spartans roughly 7-1. Every Spartan soldier existed to keep that enslaved population from rising. Some years, Sparta secretly sent its young men out to kill Helots in the dark. So before you romanticize the warrior, understand what the warrior was for. The most disciplined army in the ancient world was also a machine of fear. And unlike any other Greek, you are a full-time professional soldier. Fighting is the only trade Sparta allows you. You wear a crimson cloak and grow your hair long, the marks of a Spartan. But there were never many of you. Even at full strength, Sparta could field only a few thousand true citizen soldiers. That is who is holding the shield. That is you. Now, the pass. Late summer, 480 BC. A Persian king named Xerxes is marching on Greece with one of the largest armies the ancient world had ever seen. He has come to swallow Greece into the largest empire on earth and to punish it for past defiance. Modern historians put his force between 120,000 and 300,000 men. Ancient writers said millions, but that was the loser's nightmare and the winner's boast. Against that, Greece sends a wall of muscle and bronze to the hot gates. The pass takes its name from the hot sulfur springs that still steam beside the road. And here is the first lie the legend tells you. It was never just 300 Spartans. Around 7,000 Greeks came to hold this pass: Thespians, Thebans, Phocians, and more. The 300 were the Spartan king's hand-picked bodyguard, each chosen because he already had a living son, so his bloodline would not die with him. Their king is named Leonidas. Before he marched, the oracle at Delphi gave Sparta a grim choice: lose a king or lose the city. Leonidas came to this pass believing he was the king who had to die. He chose this pass for one reason: it is narrow. Here, 100,000 men can only attack a few at a time. Numbers stop mattering. Only the man in front of you matters. You lock into the phalanx, shields overlapping into a single wall, bristling with spears. Your main weapon is the dory, a spear nearly 9 feet long. The short sword on your hip, the xiphos, is a last resort, barely longer than your forearm. And the shield is not for you. It guards the man standing beside you. That is the secret of the phalanx. Every man is protected by his neighbor and protects the next. Xerxes sends a message: lay down your weapons. Leonidas sends back 2 words: molon labe. Come and take them. Across the narrowest point of the pass stands an old stone wall, and behind it, you wait. Xerxes waits too, for 4 days, certain this tiny force will see his numbers and flee. He sends a lone scout to watch you. The scout comes back baffled. The Spartans are calmly exercising and combing their long hair. He does not understand what he is seeing. These men groom themselves before they expect to die. Hour 1, the Persians come. First, Xerxes throws in his subject levies, wave after wave, and the narrow pass throws them back in heaps. They pour into the gap, and the gap swallows them. Your spears reach over the shield wall and find throats and chests. Shield grinds against shield in a brutal shoving match, and the bronze wall does not break. When a man in front falls, you step over him and the wall never opens. A warning spreads down the line. The Persian arrows will blot out the sun. A Spartan named Dinecus answers, "Good, then we will fight in the shade." Xerxes unleashes his elite, the immortals, the best 10,000 he has. In the narrow pass, the immortals die like all the rest. Watching from his throne, Xerxes is said to have leapt to his feet 3 times in fear for his army. The Greeks hold. 1 day passes, then a second, 2 days, and the largest army on earth cannot force a gap you could throw a stone across. And then the pass is betrayed. A local man named Ephialtes goes to Xerxes, expecting a reward. He knows something the Persians do not: a hidden path over the mountain, a goat trail that climbs up and comes back down behind the Greeks. That night, Xerxes sends the immortals up the path in the dark. 1,000 Greeks were guarding it, but surprised in the dark, they fall back to a hilltop instead of blocking the trail. And the immortals keep climbing, past them, down toward the pass. Dawn, the 3rd day. Word reaches Leonidas. The path is lost. The enemy is coming down behind you. By midday, you will be surrounded. A closing ring of spears with no way out. And Leonidas makes the choice that splits the legend from the truth. He releases most of the army. Thousands of Greeks march away while the road is still open. Staying is no longer a defense. It is a death sentence with a purpose. The 300 Spartans stay. That part you already know. Here is what the legend erased. 700 Thespians stay too. Ordinary citizen soldiers, free to leave, who choose not to. They were never raised in the agoge. They had homes, trades, families to go back to. And they die in that pass beside the Spartans, and history barely remembers their name. Around 1,400 men turn to face an empire. Now they do not wait behind the wall. They march out into the open to kill as many as they can. The long spears shatter first. Then the short swords break. Herodotus says that when the blades were gone, they fought on with hands and with teeth. Leonidas falls, and the Greeks fight off the Persians 4 times to drag his body back. At the very end, they make their stand on a small hill, and the arrows finally bury them. Every man who stayed in that pass is killed. 24 hours, and you are gone, exactly as you always knew you would be. So what did dying buy? Time. The 3 days at the hot gates bought the rest of Greece time to prepare. Weeks later, the Greek navy shatters the Persian fleet at Salamis. The next year, a Greek army destroys what remains of the invasion at Plataea, and Xerxes' dream of Greece is finished. A single stone was later set in the pass for the men who held it. It reads, "Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie." That is the truth beneath the legend. Not 300 invincible heroes, but thousands of men, one betrayal, and a few who stayed. They were forged by a cruel system for a cruel purpose, and at the end they chose, freely, to die so the others could live. Could you survive 24 hours as a Spartan? No. But now you know what it truly costs the ones who did.